Did you know that if you have a low chance of winning in a chess tournament, you can claim a draw? I did not know that, and because of that, I lost a game against Magnus Carlsen. So today, I will explain the rules and rights you have, so you won't lose your game against a chess grandmaster. Make sure to watch till the end, because there will be unknown and genius chess tactics that you've never heard before. Number 1. Insufficient losing chances. Basically, if your opponent tries to win the game on time against you, and you are way behind in material or position, and there is no way your opponent can checkmate you, you can claim a draw, but only if you have less than 5 minutes on the clock. For example, in this position, it is impossible to win for both black and white, if none of them blunders, of course. But white has 7 minutes on the clock, and black has 2 minutes. And white starts to make nonsense moves expecting to win on time, so black can fairly claim a draw. Number 2. Don't talk while playing in tournaments. It is forbidden for players to chat with each other. You are allowed to stand, sit, or walk around the room as long as you do not talk or interfere with your opponent or with other games. Rule number 2.1. Subscribe to this channel. Number 3. Claim a win if you made an illegal move. If your opponent checks your king and you make an illegal move and your opponent moves another piece without paying attention to your illegal move, you can claim a win. This situation happened in the World Blitz Chess 2017, when Magnus Carlsen lost to Ernesto Inarkiev. Ernesto made an illegal move, knight e3 check, while his king was in check, and unfortunately, Magnus responded with king d3. After that, Ernesto claimed victory, since in speed chess, if someone makes an illegal move, they lose. Number 4. One-hand rule. You have to make a move and press the clock using the same hand. Number 5. Stalemate. A situation in chess where one player, whose turn it is to move, is not in check but has no legal moves available, leading to a draw. No matter how many pieces you have, if you cannot move any of them and you are not in check, that will be called a stalemate. Number 6. En passant. In French, en passant means in passing. This move allows a pawn to capture an opponent's pawn, which has just advanced 2 squares from its starting position. Number 7. Correctly positioned chessboard. If somehow you started your game with your pieces placed on the chessboard incorrectly, the game restarts. If your board is wrongly oriented, for example, like this, the game will continue, but your pieces will be transferred to the correct squares. If your game started, and the pieces on the board were placed like this on the wrong squares, the game just continues. Number 8. Handshake rule. All chess games have to start and end with a handshake. If you refuse to do so, you automatically lose. Number 9. Touch move. If you touch a piece, whether intentionally or unintentionally, you must make a move with that piece. The same goes for your opponent's pieces. If you touch your opponent's pieces, you have to capture it, as long as it's legal. If you want a castle, you have to touch your king first, and then the rook, because if you touch the rook first, you have to move it, and it will ruin your castling. Number 10. Dress codes for women. If you consider wearing slightly revealing clothing at a chess tournament as a woman, you won't be able to play in it because it's banned. This relates to shirts and skirts. The second from the top button of the shirt may be open, and skirts are not allowed to be any shorter than 2 to 4 inches above the knee. The logic behind this rule is that it is distracting for men, and some women use that as a part of the strategy to win. Number 11. The 50-move rule. If in your game for the last 50 moves, no piece was captured or no pawn was moved, you can claim a draw because otherwise, the game might go on forever. Number 12. The 75-move rule. The same as the 50-move rule, but the only difference is that it is forced. If no one claims a draw after 50 moves of not capturing anything or pawn movement, and the game goes on to the 75th move from the moment nothing changed, the game ends with a draw. Number 13. Pawn promotion. If your pawn reaches the other side of the board, you can promote it to a queen, bishop, knight, or rook. Promoting a pawn to a piece other than a queen is called under promotion. Honorable mention rules and tactics from chess player. Cryptic c6-2. Falcon punch. Once during each game, you may punch your opponent in the nose as hard as you want. If he bleeds on a piece, it is removed from the board. If he gets knocked out, you win the game and his wallet. Conversion. Before the game begins, each player writes down a column letter, A through H, which they do not reveal until necessary. If an opponent's pawn promotes on the column you've chosen, the promoted piece becomes your color, not the opponent's. Battlenet Rigmarole. Before the game begins, each player names a Pokemon, a drug, or a philosopher, and the other player must guess which category it is from. If you correctly guess your opponent's phrase, you may replace one of their pieces with a pistachio, which can only move one space backward. If you guess incorrectly, you must play the entire game without pants or underwear,